I'm picking Commander, and he is Shaman Warrior.
Hello.
Commander's the one you can't see the face of. Shaman Warrior's the one you can hand. Okay, let's roll. Now, we have a few things to say about the Purge. Well, if you don't know what the Purge is, I'll let Shaman Warrior explain because he's already done a video on it.
Okay, so the premise of the Purge is it's in this dystopian future, and
So
they have one
dystopian and utopian. It's utopian because there's not much crime, but dystopian in the fact that they murder Christmas.
a utopia is a very, very pleasant civilization. A dystopia is the exact opposite, a very unpleasant civilization.
Probably pleasant the other 365 days of the year, but except for the murder Christmas. You know, like there's almost zero crime.
Okay, well, whether or not it's a dystopia or a utopia, whatever. So, basically, the premise is that they get one night out of the year, 12 hours, that any crime is legal, and supposedly that gives them a catharsis, a way to get that aggression and anger and violent tendencies out so that the other 364 days out of the year is crime-free.
And then there's the occasional, you know, it's kind of like punching a pillow when you're angry. Except for these guys, they're shooting a real person.
Exactly. And if you look at the research, most scientists say that catharsis, punching pillows, beating a car with a sledgehammer, things like that, it doesn't actually make someone less aggressive. It actually makes them more aggressive.
Which I'll dispute that point to the day I die because I actually feel really good when punching a pillow.
So we were discussing, obviously the movies show violent crimes.
Murder, assault, and the occasional rape in the second film.
Yeah, and it says that there's no retribution, so you can kill someone and then you just go about your day the next day. Here's my question is, what about non-violent crimes such as property crimes?
And we also have some questions about violent crimes, like, would there be revenge killings? If you look back into history around the Viking era, you'll see a decent amount of revenge killings.
Yes, that's very true. You would have a lot of feuds between families going on. But getting back to the Purge, let's say that, let's say you stole a car on Purge night, and it says all crimes up to and including murder are legal. Okay, so it's legal to take this person's car out of their driveway or whatever.
But is it legal to own it the next day, or would you have to register it?
Exactly. What happens? Can you still drive it legally the next day? How do you go about getting it tagged? You have to pay taxes on the new car. Things like that.
Would you just have to give it up on the next day?
Exactly. What about things like insider trading or embezzlement?
Or then there's, you know, credit fraud.
Yeah, credit card fraud. Any kind of property crime like that.
Then there's also the occasional hacking. Like, if you don't know, there's a style of hacking where you can actually hack a ATM. People can do this, and some person, I cannot remember his name, worth a flip, go check out Game Theory's video on hacking, because they tell about this guy. But pretty much what he managed to do is he managed to get a ATM to spout out a lot of money and make the jackpot thing. Well, this crime would be perfectly legal at the time. But, if he was in the Purge. But, what about the next day? Would it still be legal to own the money?
And another thing, what you brought up a good point about hacking. What about cyber crimes? What about cyber crimes? A lot of them are threats to national security. Um, what if you tried to crash the stock market?
Wait a second, I just thought that sounded. Okay, if it's illegal, would the U.S. be responsible for its own hacking of other nations during its purge?
Well, if you remember in the movies, it's only the United States that does the purge because you had purge tourists in the third one.
They were called murder tourists, and you
Whatever.
can actually see them. They had the little Abraham Lincoln. If you didn't know, the Abraham Lincoln and the Statue of Liberty purgers, those were the murder tourists.
Mm-hmm.
Tourist? I said tourist. Tourist. Whatever.
Yeah.
It was a flub.
But anyway, so what were we talking about?
Yeah, cyber crimes.
So cyber crimes. Yeah. What about the ramifications? What about the consequences of those crimes? Okay, if someone doesn't get punished because they committed this act during that 12-hour span, how do you go about cleaning up the damage? Even if you're not holding someone accountable,
there's still damage that needs to be cleaned.
right? But the whole idea of property ownership, that's a really deep question. Like, again, if you steal a car, if you kidnap someone, is it legal to hold them until 7 o'clock the next morning? And when 7 o'clock rolls around, if you still have them or holding them against their will, do you get arrested for that? I mean, how does that work?
And there's also the question of fake people faking the house being stolen. Like, so you say, oh, I stole this house, I don't have to pay the bill anymore. Or, I stole this car, I'm not paying the tax thing. Like, how would that work? Would there be a system where it had teeth? Like, it could tell if the purchase was made and by who, way before the purge.
Yeah, so it's definitely some interesting questions, which brings us back to the point I made in my original video about the purge. Is it feasible? Is the whole premise, would it actually work? And, well, first of all, what do you think? Do you think that having 12 hours out of the year to commit any crime you wanted to, do you think that would have any effect on the current crime rate?
Yes and no. Yes, it would help with, murder crimes and certain white-collar crimes, but then you have the cleanup crew. There's going to be a lot of cleanup. It's going to be like a riot. And think about how certain riots are still being cleaned up today. That happened at least a year back. Riots aren't, a good thing to happen. And if it's on a national scale every year, there's no point cleaning up. Like, how's that city so clean? Like, if you notice, in the third movie, they went through the city inside and out. And I don't understand how in the second movie a lot of the purge moment was actually bright and sunny. I don't understand that. But yeah, in the third movie they go through a lot of the city because they're running. Well, the senator person and her bodyguard, I'm gonna say. Yeah. They're running through the city from the militia. I'm gonna say militia because that's what they are.
The mercenaries?
Yeah. Well, they're running from them. You get a good look at the city. It's really clean, apart from the occasional. But that's probably because certain purges are actually helping with that.
You mean apart from the occasional guillotine?
Yeah. You know that little. Because there's the vans, which we already saw, the armored vans that help pick people up. Then there's the pickup truck that, has the bodies in it, the cleanup crew.
Mm-hmm. Well, but do you think that that would actually help the crime statistics overall?
Well,
I truly don't think it would.
yeah, it would if the only crime was murder. Because most people would be planning and saving that one murder from, say, the night you can murder freely without repercussions. Because there's a lot of different other crimes, and these crimes usually last a while.
Yeah, but you have people that will murder people and they don't care if they survive or not, such as a lot of active shooters, a lot of mass murderers, suicide bombers, people like that. Because if you
Go on the news, anything.
well, I mean, if you in the purge, if you kill anyone outside of that 12 hours, then they hang you. Um, they but what if you don't care if you live or die? And there's a lot of people out there like that. Why wouldn't, what's to keep them from going out during a non-purge night and offing somebody?
Yeah. I'm surprised there's not a whole lot of cop purgers. Think about that. Cops are probably some of the most well-trained, probably decently armed people. They could, if they went out to purge, like a whole station went out to purge together, they could probably do some damage. Like military and cops, they're just standing by. These guys are well trained. They could do some serious damage.
Yeah. Well, that's about all the time we have for this video. Thank you very much for watching.
And please subscribe to both of our channels. There's Shaman Warrior and Penguin Commander.
And have a wonderful day.